Boy Scout things.
Yeah.
Oh, did you
And
see
sometimes,
there?
most of the time, that goes on.
Dolores was against
Not the
it.
door.
The lights too.
Yeah, I know. Walmart.
All right, are you guys ready? She's put us on, so I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. If you guys would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Okay, first thing on our agenda is the roll call. Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Queen Lars,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson,
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tucker.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Ryan.
Aye.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue on. Next is the approval of the agenda, and I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as presented by staff.
Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Richard Tucker to approve the agenda as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of the November 9th, 2022 and the December 5th, 2022 minutes. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 9th, 2022 and December 5th, 2022 as presented by staff.
Second.
And we have a motion by Trustee Richard Tucker and a second by Trustee Betsy Harrison to approve the minutes of November 9th, 2022 and December 5th, 2022. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Okay, motion carries. Next is audience business, and so we have Laura Shamp, and Laura, you have 4 subjects you want to talk about, so I'm going to, if you'll hold on 1 second. I'll give you 5 seconds on each one. If you
5 seconds.
5 minutes on each one. If you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Laura Shamp, and I live at 223 South Spruce Street in Mancos, Colorado, down by Cottonwood Park. I'm here first off to share with you all that the Mancos Senior Center, I became very involved with it in the last 2 months. We are, like Queenie said earlier, we're trying to put out meals that are awesome. We have a lot of miscommunication going on between a lot of things from the senior center. And so the lady that is basically our main person is gone this week, but I could bring her back to the next board meeting if I need to and introduce her to you. She's our, I don't know. I don't think they even have a board. It's just kind of confusing what's going on in there. The county, Cortez is supposed to be helping with a lot of things, but Cortez doesn't seem to know anything in regards to anything to do with the senior center, with their senior center, with the Dolores Senior Center, or the Mancos Senior Center. They don't know anything. So I am taking steps myself, and we as a board are taking steps to try to get the communication and everything all opened up and going again. Mancos Days last year, I was out here, there was an agreement with family, but I understand the senior center, or the senior citizens had a booth and raised $500. Well, now we have an in-house issue in regards to that, and I did Mancos Days for years. I'm pretty much a deal of many things to do with town of Mancos. I used to be a deputy town clerk. One in the 60s, I worked for town Mancos in the 60s and the 70s, and again in the 80s. So basically, and I worked with the senior center with when we had in the hall down here, when we put the kitchen there, did bingo, all that stuff. We did that. We are reapproaching bingo. We're doing that on Mondays at 10 o'clock at the community center. If anyone would like to come, they do deliver in town. They do not have the means right now of delivering out of town, but they do deliver their meals in town to seniors. And like Queenie said, it's a $5 donation. If a senior can't afford it, we do it. You know, it's not, you don't have to pay your donation to be able to do it. Just a lot of issues that are going on up there that some of us are trying to get involved again and trying to get things running smoother again with it. There's supposed to have been a grant that AARP did that pays $300 toward dental, $300 toward glasses. It's a July 1st to a July 1st fiscal year, and for some reason this thing has no money in it. Nobody knows where the money is. So it's major overall. Everything's going on there. So I just wanted to tell you that, you know, I'm involved with them now. The other question I have with the senior center real quick is who maintains the road in front of the senior center? Is that county or is that city?
The road in front of the senior center. Is that-
Montezuma.
is that-
Are you asking us?
Yeah.
You're asking us?
I'm asking, yeah. Who plows that road?
Is it ours?
Montezuma? Yes. It's the town's.
Okay, there's a gigantic pothole where you have to turn to go into the senior center that needs to be addressed and needs to be filled in. That's what my request is on that one. Every time I go up there, I go around through the Mormon church and come in because of the pothole where you go into it is your drag bottom. I have a all-wheel drive, but it is short, so you know lots of issues happens up. I'm just interested in who's supposed to fill in the pothole.
That may be on the Masonic Lodge, because that may be the Masonic Lodge's driveway, the potholes, so.
Yeah, and see, I'm not sure on that one either, so that's why I'm trying to clarify. If it's the lodge, I'll talk to the lodge. They can come and get it filled. They'll fill it in. So anyway, for that one, I had asked at a prior board meeting about having a light put in Cottonwood Park. It's no more than a sensor light that comes. Okay.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
It's no more than a light that is a motion detector that comes on when people come into the park at night. There is electricity in the park. I was told when I was here before, there's no electricity in the park. There is electricity in the park, and all I'm asking for it, because it's dark and whatnot, is just something to be put up that if people come into the park, the sensor comes on and the light comes on to, you know, to make it a safer place to be. Because we used to have a lot of drugs going through there. I think we probably still do to some point. Who knows? But it just, for like myself, when I lived there by myself, I would be more secure. And I don't run my porch light, but sometimes I do. I can't afford the electricity for that. And I understand that's probably the same way with the town. But once in a while I'm requesting, I have requested that once before. Okay? Done with that one, Queenie.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. My final comment to all of you is in regards to the water and sewer bill at my place. I spoke to Terry, and when he came down and he read the meter, and he told me when he read the meter, we were losing 10 gallons of water per minute, and there's no way. I know we live on the river, and I know what water can disappear. We have been through everything with a fine-tooth comb. In our house, my husband is an ex-plumber. In my son's house, through all of it, and we have no leak of any kind. And I didn't get a bill for 10,000 gallons or whatever it was per minute. Instead, this last bill I got was like for $400 and some odd dollars for water for a household of 2 that's piggybacked to a household that has a family. Like in the barn, the house up on the curve there, there's a family that lives in that one. In my house, there's only two, actually three, because my niece moved in. There's only 3 adults. We don't use a lot of water. So I'm just asking, I have complained about my water bill to Georgia at Town Hall in the office ever since it started going up over a year ago. And basically, she has replied to me that she has no say-so, that she has nothing she can do in regards to it. My daughter-in-law also came, and they are in Tennessee now, so she can't be here now, but and spoke with Heather in regards to the water bill. And if you guys want to put another meter in, they're all for that. They have no issue with that. But I just would like to ask that you consider and adjust my water bill back to what it should be for being seniors living in a household. Because there's, like I said, we redug up the prostate thing, have been under our trailer, we've been all around the barn, just so you know, I've seen a foundation, and there are no leaks on our property. So that, I guess, is my final request to you, is just to please check into that, and please try to do something with my bill before the end of December, because I know things happen on a cycle, a 12-month cycle or whatever. So that's my final request, you guys. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is announcements. Do you have any announcements, Heather?
I do. So I made an executive decision this morning. I submitted a grant for the tree board because the deadline is Friday. And we didn't want to miss that deadline. So what I will do, when we're awarded the grant, it will be placed on an agenda for you all to accept it and authorize signature. It's a small grant. The grant amount is only $1,000. So if at that time you choose not to accept it, it won't impact our relationship with any grant agencies. And that $1,000 is already allocated in the 2023 budget. So I was comfortable making an executive decision to do that. And I do apologize, I know you guys want to see those ahead of time. We were in a tight deadline with this grant. So I did do that. And then, like I said, when we're awarded, it will come before you all to accept it and authorize the signature. The Parks Master Plan is in the final stages of being drafted. We're working on cost allocations for each park and phase and that kind of thing. So that will be submitted to you all at the last board meeting in January. And I wanted to ask you, do you want the consultant to come? Or do you want to just review it? We can pass questions back to the consultant. What do you all prefer?
Did they, when it's P&Z, I'm assuming, is working on it?
No.
Who's been?
It's just staff and public outreach.
Oh, okay. And we utilize the information that we got from that big public hearing? Okay.
So if you don't want, if you don't need or want the consultant to come, maybe what I'll do is we'll present it to you in January. If you have questions that staff can't answer or technical questions, we can always invite them back again. This is a town-funded project. It's not funded with grant funds at all, so we're not on a deadline. So I can save that maybe in the budget just in case. Currently, admin is working on year-end and year-end accounting closeout and beginning of 2023 and that kind of thing. We'll be doing that at the end of the year. So you all will start seeing draft financials for 2022, unaudited financials and that kind of thing, probably in February. We are still working on the Dollar General review with legal, engineering, and Safeville. We're close to the end. So you may see an item on the future agenda. I may have some things that I want to discuss and ask of you and get your feedback on. So you may see something on the agenda, but that project is still happening.
Have they turned in a CDOT permit yet?
No, but I did hear from CDOT, they haven't turned it in us. I heard that they turned it into CDOT. However, there is some question as to who owns right of way. So legal and I are working on that. We talked about that yesterday, so we'll be working on that over the next however long and
Okay.
get that worked out. And I have notified CDOT that we're still working on some issues.
I was just gonna ask if you have any timeline on that project.
Not even a clue, not right this second. I'm hoping to have it wrapped up in the next few months. But there are some questions on right-of-way, there are some architectural questions, there are some questions regarding fee waivers. Some of the things that we're asking from an architectural standpoint are not required in our code, but we'd really like to see them. So what we may, and this is one of the items that may come before you, is what types of fees will you authorize me to waive? Because they have already asked, if we make these changes, will the town consider a waiver of some fees? And I said, well, we'll consider it, but until we get there.
Yeah.
So once we get there, it will come to you, because then what I'd like to see is a development agreement that we're all signing and agreeing to, us, them, everybody, to make sure we're all on the same page. So, I say we right now, and Jason is working on a grant application for the Stormwater Master Plan project. He found a grant that, I think, what is it, he said 25% match? 10% match to fund our Stormwater Master Plan. So we've reached out to SGM as our engineer on record to ask for a draft budget so we know what to submit on the grant application. So Jason's been amazing on that. The IBC project has been tabled until we can apply for an administrative grant with DOLA. We've been talking about updating the IBC because we're currently on the 2006 version. Nick has very kindly gone through the 2021 version, and I am a little worried, and Nick kind of validated that concern for me. We have town construction standards and specifications from the late 90s. We have some land use code construction specifications, and if we just arbitrarily update to the 2021 version of the IBC, some of those documents may then conflict. So what we would like to do, what I would like to do, is postpone this project until we close out one of the projects, because we have several more planning grants. We need to close those out so that I can apply for it. Those grants are a max of $50,000 with 50% match, and it's a simple process. DOLA has been wonderful to us over the years. So we're going to table that until we can get all of those documents updated at the same time and potentially bring in a consultant with that grant. I was hoping we could do it in-house, but it's just not. I just would not feel comfortable doing that because then we're going to have documents that conflict. And that's just a nightmare. So I'd rather wait. Our current building code is serving us well. I'd rather just wait to do it all at one time. And then we roll it out to contractors and builders and everybody all at one time. I have a note on my calendar to ask you all if you would like to schedule a joint workshop with the Planning and Zoning Commission to kind of discuss what they're working on, what you would like them to consider in 2023, just touch base, get in front of each other because we don't. Are you all still, I check with you every year. Do you want me to work on scheduling a joint workshop with P&Z in January or February, whenever your schedule allows?
I'd like that.
I'd like that.
Sure.
So I will work on that.
Maybe some night that they don't have a whole lot, we could just meet on their Wednesday night.
We can do that, or if they don't have anything on their agenda, I can have them come to a board workshop so they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure out whatever works.
Great.
And then just a little note, I will be taking the week between Christmas and New Year's off. So I will not be here.
Good.
But these guys are awesome. You guys actually don't need me, so just wanted to let you all know that. And I did check, nobody else has any announcements.
So you checking out?
Yeah, that was good.
Nobody else has any? Okay.
I want to say thank you for the holiday party. That's really fun.
You're welcome.
Was fun. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I think we all had a good time. Even the snowball fights. marshmallow fights.
Everybody eat their bingo tabs.
Like,
Yeah,
we started, we got
that's-
down to cutting.
Honey, sorry about the marshmallows.
I should have made that clear before I put them out, sorry about that. Okay, committee reports, Montezuma County Commissioner update, and Gerald's not here. CDOT,
So they had a meeting Wednesday of last week, I guess. Yeah, and, everything's kind of in winter shutdown now for far as projects and stuff. The 550 corridor, or the bridges to the future are still working. I'm trying to think what else they said. Something else. I can't remember what they said. Oh, there's gonna be some grant opportunities coming out so I want to let Heather know since she's keeping her house warm and stuff. And also, this meeting's only gonna happen every other month now, so next month they won't meet. Next meeting will be in February. So that they cut it down to 6 times a year. 12.
okay.
Yeah.
Next is the Montezuma County Planning Commission, the Planning Commissioner update. I did check with them, they only had 2 things going on, none of them connected with Mancos. I did let them know that I would not be attending after I had that family emergency. I just wasn't very social, so I didn't make that meeting. So, but I said there was nothing that related to us. So moving right along is our treasurer's report, our November bills and claims. I would entertain a motion unless somebody has some questions.
If no one has any questions, I move we approve the bills and claims as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Sam Simpson and a second by Trustee Denise Bryant to approve the November bills and claims as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Next is our discussion items. The first one is Resolution 18, Series 2022, our 2023 mill levy and budget adoptions. Heather.
So we've been talking about this for a couple of months. Everything is still, all of our operating funds are still balanced. We are spending in reserves for capital projects. But you will also see those each time we're working on them, or maybe money for them or whatever, they will come before you. So, this is pretty basic. The mill levy is not changing, hasn't changed since the 90s. So we are projecting $109,280 in revenue for property tax next year. But there's really nothing different that we haven't already talked about at our workshops. Nothing changed.
I think the only question that I have is, so if we are spending our reserves for capital expenditures and projects, so how low, as we as the board, this kind of a discussion, how long do we let it go that it keeps going down? Like, do we, each year, let's say we have to keep taking more out and more out. So is that something we would talk about, is how low are we gonna let this go?
So a couple of things. We have financial policies that state we won't go below here. There are statutory budget requirements that say you must have this, I think it's 3% always in reserves. That's ridiculously low, so our financial policies are different. And then just as a matter of business, I am going to, next year during budget process, if I'm still here, oh, go ahead, Sam.
No, go ahead, finish. I just,
If I'm still around handling your budget for you, I am going to recommend that we take years. Because what we do is we save for a couple of years and then we spend for these big projects. And then we save for a couple of years and we spend for some big projects. So we save for a number of years to be able to do the Main Street Bridge project. We're doing the fiber project and the Marshal's Office project. I am going to strongly recommend in 2024 that we do nothing out of the general fund that we can avoid. Some things are just a matter of doing business, but large chunks of spending for the next couple of years, I'm going to be strongly recommending that we start saving again, because that's just kind of what we've done.
Okay.
We've spent and we've saved and we've spent and we've saved.
Okay.
That's where that 5-year kind of capital plan comes
Okay.
in. So, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
So the staff report says Resolution 18, Series 2022, but the document says Series 2023.
David caught that for us, so the signature document says 2022.
Okay.
So thank you for catching up.
Did that answer your question, please?
So,
Yeah. So it just sounds like it's kind of a statutory that you have to keep X amount in, and you know. Okay.
And I can, if you all like, add to my workshop list a financial policy. I can give you what the previous boards have adopted.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
And then I can bring that document to you all for you to review. It's a hefty document, so what I think I'll do is I'll bring it for review. You guys can review it, ask questions, if what's best practice, whatever questions you have. Then I can go find, because I anticipate several questions, then I can go find that information, maybe get it from other towns if you want, whatever, and then bring it back to another workshop.
Okay.
We can kind of handle it that way. Would that work?
Yeah, I think that would make, that clarifies for some of us who weren't here when all that was decided.
I will absolutely. So I'll start looking for like a joint workshop with P&Z, a financial policy workshop, a recycling workshop. So I've got these on my list and I'll just fit them in as we can get them.
so when's the last time we went to the voters of the town and asked for a mill levy increase?
1994 or 1996.
This is probably not a good year to do it, but that's something we need to look at, because, I mean, everybody's wages are going up, but we're getting the same amount of money.
I've been here for a little over 14 years, and we've talked about it a couple of times. And I am absolutely happy to have that conversation again. Historically, the boards have said, maybe we don't want to do that because the school's going from the levy or the fire department's going from the levy or whatever. So I'm happy to kind of keep that in my head and then maybe start reaching out to these other entities, because I believe the school board may be going for another levy.
You got it.
So, I'm sorry? So, we don't, and what the library needed one, the cemetery, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
historically, the boards have not wanted to compete with our other local taxing entities.
I mean,
But I absolutely agree with
if we continue to want to do business, we're gonna have to do it.
Yes,
I
because
mean, because we can't keep going down this road.
maybe what I can do, there is a way for me to calculate what we should be receiving. It's going to take me some time, but
Well, I mean,
and then I can put that on an agenda that says, so here's where we're trapped at, because we have to go to the voters. However, if we were just following, it's called the 5.5 revenue limit calculation. If we were just following that calculation with no restrictions, here's what we could be collecting. And then you can see that and decide if that's worth it, because we do get a mill levy. However, every year I'm required to plug in these numbers against a TABOR limit, even though what they call TABORs. I'm required to plug those numbers in for a TABOR limitation and a 5.5% revenue limitation. So because our mill levy is so old, there are years that we can collect the entire 9.442%, which we are this year. But for example, I believe it was last year, I have to always do a temporary reduction. So it changes from year to year, but I can at least give you kind of a general.
That'd be great.
So
I mean,
information is like a discussion on.
so as a general rule, that's what kind of killed all the fire departments for several years was the taper law.
Yep.
I mean, just absolutely, absolutely,
You should be Bruce.
Absolutely.
Voters in Bruce.
absolutely broken them.
Yeah.
Where they were living on pennies.
Well, and I think too, like with this Parks Master Plan, once we see that, if there's a lot of improvements, I mean, I was at that meeting and, people wanted the concrete skateboard park and, rec centers, swimming pools, and we're not gonna be able to do that on the money that we have right now, so.
So I will, future agenda. I will at least do some kind of preliminary basic research, put a preliminary discussion item on there. We can absolutely go down the rabbit hole with this, so depending on which way we want to go, I can bring in people who know more about Tabor than I do, to be perfectly honest, because they've found it. Yeah, so let me do a little bit of research, see what we would be getting, for example, if we didn't have those limitations. I will reach out to potentially some other towns. What are your property tax? What's your, levy kind of thing? And do just a little bit of preliminary research and put that on the future agenda.
I just have one thing. It's mostly, I was talking to Jason, maybe we could talk more, but on our capital improvements, on the marshal's office, the new remodeling, I've had citizens ask me quite a bit about what's going on. You got this new fence up. What's going on over there? Is there a way that you could come and talk to us more about, what's the timeline on that, or budget, or what we're doing over there?
We're
Building the new marshal's office.
building the building. There's a grant. The only grant that we were able to find is the Bill Energy Impact Grant. That's the only grant that we were able to find, or the county was able to find, that will fund law enforcement outside of mental health, because that's, the pendulum swings.
Yeah.
So that application is due in April. So we will be applying for that grant to help us build the building.
Okay.
So once that grant comes through, we'll start, but that's the timeline where we're trying to apply for that grant.
So have we got any plans on?
Yeah,
cost plans?
And all that, because I think that would be important. At some point, if we could just get a little more update because citizens are asking, and what's going on over there? Why is this new permanent fence there?
Even something on the fence, like a little
Yeah, I was
sign,
gonna
future
say-
home of the Mancos Marshal Office. That's simple. People will just.
Yeah, but yeah,
That'd be that easy.
and like, how much is that going to cost us?
Well, a lot of it would be my fault, because I've been telling them we're putting in a spa over there, and that's just.
It's probably.
Oh, you're putting in a spa?
Over there, with the marshal's office, that's a swimming pool.
We're working with DNL, who's our contractor of record. We're working with them, again, just the interior, working with them, but on some facade drawings and budgets, and what's the best way to go, and do we do a metal building and clad it, do you know what I mean? Do we do what are we? So once they're done with that project, because they're actively working on that now, once they're done with that, we'll put it on the future agenda, and just kind of as an FYI thing.
Okay.
In the meantime, we can come up with something that says future home of the Mancos Marshal's office or whatever.
Yeah. Good.
So we're
Hoping
looking,
for construction in 2023.
Yeah.
Okay.
so we can't even apply for the grants until April, so we won't probably get them until June, July. So, okay, so it'll be late before we can start doing anything, okay. And people ask, well, why did they tear it down so early?
Asbestos.
And leave the hole, and I said, well,
It's a hazard.
And if we can get funding, because the money that we're using are the ARPA funds that we're using. So we're using some of that for the marshal's office cash match and some of that for the fiber project cash match. That's what the board and staff decided to do together. If we get more funding for fiber, then we can put that towards the marshal's office.
Okay, great.
But it's, both of those projects are very dependent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're working on their timeline numbers.
And that's what was said in the TPR, there is grant money for fiber.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've applied for some already in conjunction with Region 9, I don't know if you guys remember, but you did approve a letter of participation, so. And then there are some other fiber grants opening up in first quarter of 2023 that we'll be applying for, so. All of these, but yeah, because these projects are grant dependent, we're working on their timeline, not ours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
any of those state fiber grants coming through. I know they were working on trying to get it to the college. That would bring it, part of it through Mancos, is that?
There's
still-
already fiber through Mancos, but this is the project to take it from here.
Right,
To the airport
right,
property.
I knew that.
So, and it's all in our right of way, we've got the right of way. It's actually a relatively simple project, but it's about $1.2 million.
Yeah.
So,
Hate to say that we are.
Okay. All right.
And then from that, the plan is to have nice Wi-Fi that's fast.
yes.
Up on the
And
hill.
then what we'll do, once we build the infrastructure,
Mhm.
we will be putting out an RFP to lease that to a provider. They'll have to do an open network, but that's gonna be their problem. We're gonna lease it to the provider. We'll get a small revenue stream. It's not gonna be huge, but the point isn't to make money off it. The point of it is to bring high-speed internet.
Yeah,
So we will get a small revenue stream, but then it's gonna be up to them to maintain it, to improve it. If lines get cut, equipment or towers or whatever needs to be something we don't know. That's the plan.
yeah.
I have reached out to a local provider to see if he will consult with us because there are some tower specifications. So I've got some tower companies, but I also am wondering if I can get a local provider to work with us to assist me with those technical conversations with regard specific to the tower. We've got everything else that is the tower.
Any other questions? Denise, any other? Okay. All right, then we would entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve Resolution 18, Series 2022, resolution summarizing expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting the budget for the town of Mancos, Colorado, for the calendar year beginning on the first day of January 2023 and ending on the last day of December 2023, and levying property taxes for the year 2023 to help defray the costs of government for the town of Mancos, Colorado for the 2023 budget year.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee McManning and a second by trustee Betsy Harrison to approve resolution 18, series 2022, a resolution summarizing expenditures and revenues for each fund and adopting the budget for the town of Mancos, Colorado for the calendar year beginning on the first day of January 2023 and ending on the last day of December 2023, and levying property taxes for the year 2023 to help defray the cost of government for the town of Mancos, Colorado for the 2023 budget year. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tovar.
Aye.
Trustee McManning.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Snell.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along then to the 2023 capital equipment lease purchase agreement.
I'll turn this one over to Terry, unless she has any questions or wants me to.
I think all the information that you guys need to make a decision tonight on the 2021 case taco lease purchase agreement is in the staff report. So do you have any questions?
Have you actually seen it? Like, can you tell if it's in better condition than the 2018?
I'm sure hope it is.
Well, I mean, could have fallen off a truck or, I mean.
But no, I would think it's like brand new. I'm the first one seeing it. But you could probably get a photo of it. Or I can drive to Durango one too.
So is it in Durango?
Yes.
It might be worth the trip to go over
Yeah.
to specs. I mean, there's some good restaurants. Some good restaurants over there.
And Richard might be volunteering.
Yeah, Richard just volunteered. Send some pictures, Richard.
I mean, so we are not getting a new machine. It's not brand new, it's been used.
It was a lease machine.
Right,
Mhm.
and we're
It was
leasing it.
about, it's got 405 hours. And we were they had 2018 machines had 600 hours on them. And those they offered us this 2021 for the same price as an 18.
Mhm.
How many hours on the 2021?
400.
That's
Oh.
405?
Yes. And I'll be happy to recommend it.
I would be more comfortable if you've had eyes on it and maybe have them crank it up and listen to it run.
Yeah.
Just to be cautious.
I mean, so in the lease program, are we responsible for repairs or?
Yes.
Yeah, I would rather, I think it'd be financially beneficial for you to, somebody to drive over there and listen to it.
Send a video and send a photo.
Some conditional upon an acceptable inspection.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause that's.
And we looked into brand new ones. Earlier this year, when we looked into them, we were right around 129,000. Now, you're at 145.
Oh,
jeez.
That doesn't surprise me.
Kind of like a new car price.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, I think leasing is probably the best way to go, because you're in a contract for a year with it.
We're doing lease with option to buy.
Oh,
It is subject to non-appropriation, so if for whatever reason over the 5-year lease, if the funds are not appropriated by the board, we can turn it back over to penalties.
Oh, sweet.
It's a requirement for us.
Yeah.
You said five?
Sure, that was in the contract.
5 years?
5 or 6 years, I can't remember.
Okay. Oh, you're fine.
From a legal standpoint, it's been reviewed to make sure that you all are covered at times.
Yeah.
The equipment piece, but from a legal piece.
As long as you don't have any other duties to do tomorrow, it's not a bad idea.
That's the rest of the training, but I will be there.
As long as those 3 other members in your department are in training.
Somebody will look at it more.
I do have a question though. I mean, is there an urgency to pass this?
Yes, because they can sell it out from underneath us.
So it might be wise, if we can, to approve it contingent upon.
Yeah.
Terry's
Inspection.
Visual
Yeah.
inspection.
inspection.
Very simple.
Okay.
Yeah, so whoever makes the motion should probably put that in there.
Great.
Any other questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we authorize the Public Works Director to execute the lease purchase agreement with CHN Capital for a 2021 Case Tractor and Loader Backhoe 580 SN on condition that it looks to be in good shape.
That it passes a staff
Passes
inspection.
inspection by the Public Works Director.
I'll second.
Whatever.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee McManning and a second by trustee Denise Bryan to authorize the Public Works Director to execute the lease purchase agreement with CHN Capital for a 2021 Case Tractor Loader Backhoe 580 SN upon conditional inspection, physical inspection by the Public Works Director. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson,
Aye.
trustee Betsy Johnson,
Aye.
trustee Richard Topa,
Aye.
trustee Nick Manning,
Aye.
trustee Denise Brennan.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving right along, we have Resolution 19, Series 2022, the 2022 Budget Amendment.
Yes, so we talked a little bit about this, the Main Street Bridge, the timing of the project. The budget itself came in, the project itself came in on budget, but the timing of the final payments, the entire project was expected to be completed last year. And because the last 4 payments for the project were paid this year, our auditor didn't look them back to last year. So our fund balance, money remained in the fund balance at the end of last year, so now we need a budget amendment for this year. Because budget law says we cannot spend more than we budgeted.
Yeah.
So we can do whatever we want, we just have to make sure, so that's,
Yeah.
every, the end of every year, you generally see a budget amendment, because it is a living document, and you have more best for things going on. So I had a little heartburn over that amount of the general fund budget amendment, but I do also understand that 640,000 of it was for the bridge project, so it's. And then I always pad it because sometimes we receive invoices in January for projects from 2022. So when I'm looking at our financial statements, if we get close, I always want to make sure that we're not violating budget law. What we don't spend still stays in the fund balance. It doesn't give us a license to spend money, just so you know. So I do need a budget amendment for the general fund, and then we also need one for the sewer fund. We are not, we're only $5,300 over budget as of the end of November. However, I don't know, at the time that I prepared this, I wasn't sure what was happening, with our sewer plant, so I padded it, so that money will again stay in reserves. We're probably not spending it on travel and some other things that we may have had to spend it on, but, so that money will just stay in reserves. It won't be spent. But I did prepare a budget amendment because I wasn't sure what was happening in December.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Everything else, all the other funds were fine. No budget amendment necessary.
Does anybody have any questions? And I'd entertain a motion.
I move we approve Resolution 19, Series 2022, a resolution for supplemental budget and appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted for the year 2022 for the town of Mancos, Colorado.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Richard Toker and McManning to approve Resolution 19, Series 2022, a resolution for supplemental budget and appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted for the year 2022 for the town of Mancos, Colorado. Jamie, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tovar.
Aye.
Trustee McManning.
Aye.
Trustee Chase Brown.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda is Resolution 1, Series 2023, setting of the 2023 Board of Trustees meetings. Heather?
The next few resolutions are just standard business. You usually see them in the first meeting in December each year by law. Excuse me. Again, we're supposed to set the meetings and set a place where we post the meetings. So every year we set the meetings in place for posting as the front door of town hall. Yes.
And it's okay that they say Series 2023, even though we're still in 2022?
Yes,
Because
because these will not be effective until
Okay,
2023.
perfect. I just wanted to double check.
So just to finish your sentence, they're posted on the door of town hall.
That's the legal minimum.
Okay,
We are required to post it in one place legally.
okay,
So what we do is our legal minimum is the front door of town hall.
Okay.
But we also post it on the website Friday before. Whenever you guys get the packet is the day it's posted on the website as well.
Mhm.
And then we have a list of citizens who have asked to be advised anytime we issue an agenda. So just for your information internally, we send it to you, we post it on the website, we send it to you, and then we send a notice to the citizens. It says the agenda's been posted, you can go find it, but it's been posted and here's the website.
oh, that's a nice service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Jen.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 1, Series 2023, a resolution designating a public place for the posting of notices of public meetings in the town of Mancos and approving a schedule of regular board meetings, of trustee meetings for 2023.
Okay, Okay, I have a motion by trustee Denise Bryant and a second by trustee Richard Tucker and Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson to approve Resolution 1, Series 2023, a resolution designating a public place for the posting of notice of public meetings in the town of Mancos and approving a schedule of regular Board of Trustees meetings for 2023. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tucker.
Aye.
Trustee McManus.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We will move right along to Resolution 2, Series 2023, setting the utility tap fees.
So we talked about this at the workshops. Generally, we increase the tap fees. This is not the monthly utility bills. This is the
Right.
planned investment fees or the tap fees for water and sewer for new taps. We generally increase those by the Denver Boulder CPI each year, so I've included the information for you all from the WOL's website, and then I increased it 8.2%. We generally use this information from DOLA, so that's what we've done. It's by no means required, so it's something else that if you want to talk about it or change it again, we can do that, but we just kind of went with discussion and past history.
Well, I just, so if it's not, we don't have to go with what the 8.2, we can kind of come up with something else. Well, I just wanted to point out, I looked up the county, and the county to get a tap is 7,500. So maybe we should be along the same line as the county and increase it. Water is precious. It's like we gotta I think we should increase it more to 7,500 along with what the county's doing. It's just a discussion.
Further discussion? Betsy, what do you think?
Well, I'm not sure I agree.
It's okay.
You know, because the more you raise those taps, the more you discourage any kind of additional housing. Now, maybe I should go leave the room because I'm in the process of building additional housing. And I'm gonna have to buy a water and a sewer tap, but you know, there's two sides to that, I think.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think?
I mean, I think we follow the full 8.2%. I think it's pretty imperative that we keep inflation in mind with all of this. So yeah, no, I'm in favor of it. 8.2%.
Richard?
I'm kind of, we want the town to grow. And at that rate, are we gonna, financially, that's gonna pay for everything, right? For the meter and stuff. We won't make as much money, but I'm on the fence. I mean, kind of like Denise's idea, the county's getting this, we're in the county, but
Cindy?
Mancos
Can you-
Rural has, I was asking if what the Mancos Rural tap fee was. Number one, they have a membership fee, and number two, I don't know if they even have taps.
We just did one. It was 4,000. And a subdivision south of Dolores. It was 4,000 to do the actual tap in the pit.
Is that Mancos Rural water, or was that Montezuma?
That was Montezuma Rural. Yeah.
I'm not averse to increasing them, but I do always like fees to be reasonable for what it costs us to do, you know? And so plus if we can undercut the county, we'll get more people here, which is more people eating at our restaurants and stuff. So I am okay with the 8.2%. I did have a question though about the $750 installation costs. is that still a viable number? Do we need to look at raising that? Because that's been our number for a while. And we're getting a new backhoe.
That's true.
Just saying it.
Maybe.
And we had to fix the back truck.
On the materials and installation, it would probably be wise if we would go up to $1,000.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I didn't have a dollar amount, but I mean, stuff's expensive right now.
It is.
And labor's went up.
Yeah, so I would support that if that's what you're thinking it's gonna cost us to put it in. I think we need to make sure that we recoup the money. I'm not interested in, gaining money from it necessarily, but I think it definitely, I'm a firm believer that development needs to pay for itself. So.
So do we add the $250 additional cost to the additional cost of the tap, so it would be $6,000?
No, we'd keep the tap as proposed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then the $750 installation cost would actually be changed to $1,000 installation cost.
You would do that with your motion.
Yeah.
So, anybody know what Cortez and Dolores is, just out of curiosity? Just
Where's Ed when you need him? He knows all that
He does.
stuff.
I know.
He's
Yeah.
got a mind for numbers.
Hold on 1 second.
I believe Dolores, I don't know what their tap fee is, but I think their installation cost is like $2,500.
So you could do that.
I wouldn't jump it from 750 to 200.
No,
That's 500.
We'll have a full
Talk it
house.
through.
You'll have a full
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think we should be able to substantiate what
Yeah.
we're charging people.
Yeah. We have to be.
And I think especially with an 8.2%.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a big jump.
That's a huge.
I don't think there's a basis for that in
Yeah.
terms of what it costs, we're just using, a state figure to increase
Yeah.
the percentage.
Dolores is 3,700.
Mm.
They actually have a different fee for a 3/4 inch water meter and then a higher fee for a 1 inch. So that.
And then they hit them with the installation fee.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, this actually, so our code actually has we charge them for the meter as well. This is actually it's a plant investment fee.
Mm-hmm.
Then we charge for the installation.
Mm-hmm.
And then if somebody needs a larger tap, there is a section of our code that states they'll pay the cost of the tap.
Mm-hmm.
The actual, a
yeah,
meter, the
yeah.
larger meter.
Yeah.
And then if there's a, like behind the scenes, there's a plan investment worksheet. And then I just went through it for the first time to make sure that it comes out correctly with 3/4 inch tap, but 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch. Those meters get pricey quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for the plant investment, I guess, not the piece of equipment that's going in the hole.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
I move we approve a resolution of the Town of Mancos, Colorado, adopting new residential water and sewer tap fees with the amendment to the document to be signed. That while the water tap fees will be set at $6,422, the installation costs should be raised to $1,000. And and so with that amendment to the document, that's my motion.
I'll second.
Did you say both?
Yeah, if the costs are I'm
Yes, you
sorry.
said both.
Yeah. Amendment to include wastewater.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Denise Bryant to approve Resolution 2, Series 2023, a resolution of the Town of Mancos, Colorado, adopting new residential water and sewer tap fees, leaving the water and sewer tap fees at $6,422 and raising the installation for both of those taps to to $1,000
Each.
each. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Bidmar.
Aye.
Trustee McFerrin.
Aye.
Trustee James.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along to Resolution 3, Series 2023, setting dedicated land fee in lieu. Heather.
So, again, something else you guys do each year, the planning commission also discusses this each year. So they discussed this at their last meeting, and, it was increased in 2021 from, I think it was 15,000, I apologize for not having that, but to the 25,000. So they did have some discussion on the item, but ultimately decided to leave it at $25,000 per acre, for the fee in lieu of land dedication. So that's what they're recommending to you, so that's why they put it in the new resolution.
Well, I have a question. How did they come? It doesn't, I'm not the best math person, but that doesn't come out, the 25,000, when you read in the, their section 2, it says the planning commission shall recommend and the board of trustees shall establish a resolution of per acre fee based on the current fair market value for raw land within the corporate limits of the town. So you read that, and then you read it says then it goes to the recent market value research indicates 7,500 square foot. A vacant lot in Mancos sells for approximately 76,000. So that math doesn't come out to 25,000. It comes out to 44,000.
Yes. Yeah. And they talked about that in their meeting, but they chose to recommend a lower, and historically they've always chosen to recommend a lower fee, so as not to discourage development.
Yeah. So shouldn't they then change their wording in that?
That that's just in the resolution. I can absolutely change that. It's a template, so I can absolutely update the template. I've just never updated it, to be super honest with you.
Well,
Like
it just,
the whole template, you know?
yeah.
What I mean?
Well, it's kind of,
So I will have to go back to the Mancos code and find that section, and then discuss with Safe Built and our attorney what that should say based on this discussion, and then we would need to update our code. So I can absolutely have that discussion and then bring it back to you guys, and you guys can decide what you want to do.
I mean, the 25,000 is fine. It's just, it's not, it doesn't add up to what you're saying in that.
Well, and one of the discussions that they had was, we do want to encourage development, but also how many pocket parks can the town have?
Yeah, I remember we, us as a board having that discussion, and we really liked the money idea.
Right.
It's just that it doesn't add up if you were a developer and you read this, I mean,
Right.
it just needs to be updated.
There might be more willing to give us 25,000 than giving us 45,000, because they'll put another house there for the 45,000.
Right, that exactly.
And then here we go, and we just don't need that many more pocket parks, because then our staff has to maintain it.
Right.
And that's.
No, it works. It's just
The story problem, the words need to match the intended
yes.
total.
And that may be something that came down from state or something too, so we need to find out why it's in our code that way.
Yeah.
Well, I will, like I said, I've got that section in the code, so I've made a note right here. So I'm going to do some research on that language and see, do we leave the language as it is, but add a caveat that says in order to encourage development, the board has discretion, or do we change the code, or I'll do some research and see what the best way to handle that is.
Okay.
So next time you do this, the resolution will be.
Great.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Heather.
All right,
Thank you.
any other questions,
So
comments?
are we tabling it, or are we?
It's up to you guys.
Oh, I think we can.
I mean, is this something we're required to pass tonight?
You're not required to pass it tonight. You can pass it tonight
Okay.
because that statement doesn't stop you from passing it.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I get.
Yeah, we're not arguing about the dollar figure.
No, we're just making the
Right.
math add up.
Okay.
All right. Again, entertain a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion then to approve Resolution 3, Series 2023, a resolution setting the per acre fee in lieu of dedicated land.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Denise Bryan and a second by trustee McManning to accept resolution 3, series 2023, a resolution setting the per acre fee in lieu of dedicated land. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hepburn.
Aye.
Trustee McManning.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Moving right along, the next on the agenda is the December 28th, 2022 meeting cancellation.
And this, again, is for you guys. I didn't know what you wanted to do for December 28th. I won't be here, and I can find stuff to put together for you. We don't have anything running. But I did want to check with you.
On
I just checked with you.
Yeah.
What you want to do. We reserve it in case there's an emergency
Right.
budget or
Yeah.
something. But you passed that tonight, so
Yeah.
I wanted to check in, and it's totally up to you guys.
I'll make a motion to cancel.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll second.
yeah, because,
It's
yeah,
the holidays.
on a matter of principle, it's the holidays, people aren't looking at what we're doing, and it gets real like, that's not very transparent if we're sneaking a bunch of stuff through.
Sure.
We can give that perception, so, yeah, I would support your motion, Richard.
All right, I have a motion by trustee Richard Tokar and a second by trustee McManning to cancel the December 28th, 22 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. All right, that meeting has been canceled.
So our next meeting will be January 11th, 2023.
Okay. Do we have any items for the next agenda? Anybody have any?
Not a lot of stuff, I just don't know what I can put together.
You got some time though.
You got some time.
You got some time. Okay, so then the next on the agenda is adjournment.
So moved.
All right, meeting adjourned.
That's usually Ed's comment, but I
Ooh.
didn't.
Well.